The first question is for Dori Blesh. How can any court operate without the knowledge and experience of courtroom procedure and the law? And what kind of cases are heard by JP? No.
Can you hear me now? Okay, if I could repeat the question to make sure I understood it. Basically, it was what kind of cases are heard in the Justice of the Peace Court, and how can someone do that without having knowledge and experience from the courtroom? Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, that's a very interesting question. The way that I would like to respond to that is that there is no requirement whatsoever for the Justice of the Peace to have a legal background or a law enforcement background. What is important in the Justice of the Peace position or office is that you have the ability to listen, read, interpret, and make decisions. The particular details of the Justice of the Peace, the laws and things such as that, are taught at a Justice of the Peace school. There are also books and online resources available for people in that position. So, once again, I would like to say there are no requirements for that position to have a law enforcement or a legal background. What is important is that someone can listen to what's being said, can decipher the information, can interpret laws that are written in books, and make a decision based on that information. So with that being said, I believe that someone such as myself who has had a lot of business experience and experience in reading and interpreting and understanding things and applying those things would certainly be able to do that job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Pam, could you repeat the question?
Yes. Will county court be doing juvenile cases, or will district court process them? Why or why not?
Well, yes, the county judge does hear juvenile cases. However, it's my understanding that anyone involved in that type of case can request at any time those cases be moved to district court, and they have that option. Also, if it's a case that for some reason the county judge does not feel they can handle, they can request to move it to district court. But normally those issues would be handled in county court.
Okay. Kirk?
Same question.
Same question.
The jurisdiction of the county court is set by the constitutional mandate, and that is one of the mandates of the Constitution for this particular court. Mills County, the county court in Mills County has primary juvenile jurisdiction. While it can be, under some circumstances, transferred to district court, it's very uncommon. Usually it's in a situation where the judge has to recuse himself, and that's not a common occurrence. So primarily all the juvenile cases that are heard will be heard in county court.
Okay. When, Kirk, this is for you. When you took the office of county judge that was vacated at the midterm by the previous judge, what were some of the things that you have implemented on the county's behalf that were not being done previously, if any?
Well, no, and primarily the changes that were made with the assistance of the county attorney. Most of the county procedures, as far as the business side of it, were already in place and were working pretty well. Working with law enforcement and the county attorney's office, we made some modifications to the procedures on our criminal docket. Primarily, the way cases are magistrated. In other words, I don't know, probably 95% of the magistrations, because most of the cases that we get, well, all the cases that we get are misdemeanors, Class A and under. By being able to magistrate and explain, you kind of go through a magistration process as well as a preliminary first appearance, so that you can kind of explain to the individual what's going on. And we've been real fortunate the last couple of years that most of our cases that we've had that have been brought into the law enforcement that we've dealt that way, we've been able to resolve those cases usually within 72 hours, so that we don't have a lot of overflow and a lot of people holding out in jail. We don't have to have a lot of people bonded out, and we don't have to have a phenomenal court docket on a regular monthly
Okay,
basis.
is this something that you've implemented that's
Yes.
new? Okay.
Yes. In fact, this was something that was actually brought up at the judicial conference that I spoke at in Corpus back in November, and there's going to be several counties that kind of follow our lead, and it cuts down on inmate housing costs because we don't have to hold them, and then it also cuts down on the the number of non-appearances we have on trial date, because it's all handled right there on the spot very quickly.
All right, thank you. Both judges candidates, what is your vision for Mills County as county judge for the next 2 years?
Well, as county treasurer, I've been deeply involved with the financial records of the county. However, I've not had a voice in those issues. I feel in these difficult economic times, it's very important that we in Mills County make prudent use of our financial resources. And I feel, unfortunately, our court has not always done that. I would like to see us be very careful with the money that we spend and make it be of the most use to Mills County. I recently brought before the EDC, because of a conference I attended on community development, a community development pilot program that AgriLife Extension Service has offered to Goldthwaite into this area, and the EDC has stepped up to the plate. They've fully funded that. They've offered an employee to implement that. So there's some community development things that we're going to be working on in the next couple of years that I think are very important to our economy. They have to do with value-based agriculture, entrepreneurship, those kind of things. I also feel like there are many, many issues that impact the future of Mills County that we are not taking an active role in. I would like to see us step up to the plate and be a participant in those things that are shaping our future, rather than just letting those things happen to us. And that would be what I would be concentrating on in the next couple of years.
Well, I think everybody will agree that right now we're facing some hard economic times, and with economic times, there's hard decisions that have to be made. I don't think anybody in this room is going to disagree that money's going to have to be spent. The question is, where is it going to be spent? Is it going to be spent wisely? Fortunately, I think we've got a good group of commissioners. I think we'll have a good group of commissioners. And between the 5 of us, because everybody has to realize it's not a function of what the judge does. Everything that's done in Mills County is a function of the Commissioner's Court in that respect. So I think all of us working together are looking at the same issue. We're looking at costs, we're looking at finances, we're looking at what we can do to improve Mills County as a whole. And that's what we're going to be looking at. We haven't passed any opportunities. We're not missing any opportunities. I think the commissioners and everybody in Mills County is looking to that. We're working very closely with the Chamber. We're working with the EDC to promote Mills County every way we can.
Chris, this is for you. Does the JP job pay more than your law enforcement job?
The answer to that is no. If elected, I will take what I consider a fairly substantial pay cut, a little over $4,000 a year.
Chris, this is also for you. What is the biggest challenge of the JP office, and what will you do to fix it, if any? Biggest challenge?
Most of the challenges, I think, in the office are pretty equal. There are some things that we can do to update the office without losing our way of doing things. We can computerize some processes. There are some new ways of collecting fines that we can utilize. Just for instance, the county's just recently started using credit card transactions to accept fees to the county attorney's office, county clerk's office. It will be implemented in the JP's office. Basically, it's going to be to try to keep up with the times and also keep the mindset of Mills County. We have a way of doing things that's a little different than the rest of the world. And